Hi, I'm Allison. My 6-year-old daughter Emma has always been spirited, energetic, curious, and not afraid to speak her mind. That's why her behavior at my mother's recent Sunday dinners seemed so off. Emma's been so well behaved lately, my sister Jen commented as we watched Emma quietly coloring in the corner of Mom's living room. The adults were finishing coffee after another elaborate family dinner. I know, I said, tilting my head. It's strange. At home, she's her usual tornado self, but the minute we get to Mom's, she becomes this calm, almost sleepy version of herself. Jen shrugged. Maybe she just knows Grandma's expectations. You know how Mom is about proper behavior? I suppose, I replied, unconvinced. I glanced at my mother, Patricia, perfectly poised as she served dessert. Her house rules had always been strict. Children should be seen and not heard. My childhood was a careful performance of perfect manners. Your mother has worked magic with Emma, my brother-in-law Tom chimed in. Remember how she used to run around these dinners like a wild animal? Now she's the picture of a proper young lady. My mother beamed with pride. Some children just need the right guidance. Later, as I was helping Mom clean up in the kitchen, Emma wandered in looking disoriented. Mommy, I feel funny, she mumbled, leaning against my legs. I crouched down, brushing her hair from her forehead. What's wrong, sweetheart? My tummy feels weird and I'm really sleepy, but I wasn't tired before dessert. My mother quickly interjected. She probably just ate too many cookies. Children always overindulge when given the chance. I only had one cookie, Emma protested weakly. Mom handed Emma a glass of water. Drink this, darling. You'll feel better. As Emma sipped, I noticed Mom's peculiar attention to making sure she finished every drop. When we got home that night, Emma perked up significantly. The pattern continued for weeks, subdued at Grandma's, normal at home. Dr. Martinez, I'm concerned, I explained at Emma's checkup that Friday. It's like she's two different children. Dr. Martinez listened intently. Has Emma been given any medication recently? Just her seasonal allergy medicine, but that's never made her drowsy before. The doctor nodded thoughtfully. Would you mind if we run a basic talk screen, just to rule things out? 2 days later, my phone rang. Allison, it's Dr. Martinez. Is this a good time to talk about Emma's test results? My stomach dropped. Yes, what did you find? We found traces of a sedative in her system, one that isn't prescribed to her. It's commonly used for anxiety but can cause drowsiness and lethargy, especially in children. The room seemed to tilt. A sedative? But how? My mind flashed to my mother's insistence on giving Emma special grandma treats and drinks before every family gathering. The way Emma only became subdued after accepting something from my mother. Someone's been giving it to her, I whispered, the horrible realization dawning. Allison? Dr. Martinez's voice was gentle but serious. We need to find out who has access to this medication and when Emma's been receiving it. This is a serious matter. I think I know exactly who, I said, my voice hardening. And I know when. I just need to prove it. She did what? My best friend Diane nearly knocked over her coffee cup at the cafe where we'd met the next morning. I think my mother's been drugging Emma to make her behave at family gatherings, I repeated, still struggling to believe the words coming out of my mouth. Diane's expression shifted from shock to anger. That's not just crossing a boundary, Allison. That's criminal. Have you confronted her? Not yet. I need proof first. Dr. Martinez suggested documenting everything and possibly setting up a situation to catch her in the act. What about Emma? Is she okay? I nodded. The doctor said the doses were small enough not to cause lasting harm, but... My voice cracked. She's been doing this for months, Diane. My own mother. What's your plan? Diane reached across the table to squeeze my hand. I've told Mom I'm bringing Emma for lunch today. I'm going to watch her like a hawk and maybe... I lowered my voice. Maybe record what happens. You should have someone else there too, a witness. Would you come, please? I told her you might join us. Diane nodded firmly. Absolutely. When we arrived at Mom's house, she greeted us with her typical perfect smile. Emma ran to hug her grandmother. "There's my perfect angel," Mom cooed. "I've made your favorite strawberry lemonade." "Actually, Mom," I interrupted, "Emma's been having some stomach issues. We'll stick with water today." A flash of something, annoyance, panic, crossed my mother's face before her smile returned. "Of course, dear. Whatever's best." Throughout lunch, I noticed Mom making repeated attempts to give Emma special treats or drinks when I wasn't looking directly at them. "Patricia," Diane said casually, "what's in that cookie you're giving Emma? My nephew has allergies, and those look delicious." "Oh, just a family recipe," Mom replied smoothly. "Nothing special. Sugar, flour, vanilla." When Mom went to the kitchen for dessert, I quickly took the uneaten cookie and slipped it into a plastic bag in my purse. After lunch, as Emma played in the yard, I confronted my brother Michael, who had joined us. "Have you noticed how different Emma acts at Mom's gatherings?" I asked carefully. "Sure, she's a perfect little lady here," he laughed. "Not the wild child you usually have." "Doesn't that seem strange to you? That she's only calm here?" Michael frowned. "What are you implying?" "The pediatrician found a sedative in Emma's system, Michael. Someone's been medicating her without my knowledge." His eyes widened. "And you think Mom? No way. She wouldn't." "Remember how she used to give us special tea before important visitors came? How we'd always get mysteriously tired?" Michael's face paled. "That was different. We were difficult kids." "Were we? Or did she just want her perfect family image?" "You're making serious accusations, Allison." "I know. That's why I'm gathering evidence before I do anything." As we prepared to leave, I noticed Mom slipping something into Emma's backpack. "What did you put in her bag, Mom?" I asked sharply. "Just some cookies for later, dear. A grandmother's prerogative." "Mind if I see them?" I held out my hand. Mom hesitated, then reluctantly handed over a small container. "It's just a treat." I opened it and found cookies different from the ones we'd been served. "I'll hang on to these." "Allison, really?" Mom huffed. "You're being ridiculous." "Am I? Then you won't mind if I have these tested?" The color drained from her face. The lab results confirmed my worst fears. Both the cookie from lunch and the ones in the container contained the same sedative found in Emma's system. "We need to talk," I said when Mom answered her door the following day. I'd left Emma with Diane and brought my cousin Rachel, a nurse, with me as a witness. "About what? And hello to you too, Rachel," Mom said, her smile strained. "About this." I placed the lab report on the coffee table. "Cookies with sedatives, Mom? You've been drugging my daughter." "Don't be dramatic, Allison." Mom's voice remained eerily calm. "It's just a little something to take the edge off. All children need help behaving sometimes." "Help behaving?" My voice rose. "You've been secretly medicating a 6-year-old without her mother's consent. Do you have any idea how dangerous that is?" "Please lower your voice," Mom replied, glancing nervously at the windows. "What will the neighbors think?" "That's what you're worried about? Appearances? Not the fact that you've been drugging your granddaughter?" Rachel interjected, her nurse's training evident in her measured tone. "Patricia, as a healthcare professional, I need to tell you that administering unprescribed medication to a child is extremely serious. It could cause adverse reactions, dependency issues, or interact dangerously with other medications." Mom waved dismissively. "Oh, please. I've been using these medications for years. They're perfectly safe in small doses." "Years?" I echoed. "Who else have you done this to?" A flicker of guilt crossed her face. "Us? You did this to us as children, didn't you?" The memories flooded back, feeling oddly tired at important family events, the special treats before company arrived. "It was different then," Mom defended. "You children were impossible when guests came. I needed you to behave properly." "And Emma? What's your excuse for drugging her?" "She's just like you were. Wild, loud, embarrassing. Do you think people want to hear a child screeching through dinner? I was helping you, Allison. She reflects on you as a mother." My hands trembled with rage. No, Mom. This was never about helping me or Emma. This was about your perfect image, your perfect family facade. You're overreacting, Mom scoffed. But I could see panic beginning to set in. It was just a little something to calm her down. Many parents use medication to manage their children. Prescribed by doctors with proper dosages and parental consent, Rachel exclaimed. What you've done is abuse, Patricia. Abuse? How dare you? Mom stood up, pointing at the door. Get out of my house if you're going to make such ridiculous accusations. This isn't going away, I said firmly. I've filed a police report. I have the lab results, Emma's medical tests, and now this conversation recorded with your admission. Mom's face contorted. You wouldn't dare ruin this family over something so trivial. Trivial? You endangered my child's health for your dinner parties. After everything I've done for you. For Emma? Mom's composure cracked. I've only ever wanted the best for this family. Perfect holidays, perfect gatherings. Is that so wrong? What's wrong is how you achieve it, I replied coldly. I'm getting a restraining order. You won't see Emma again. You can't do that. I'm her grandmother. Mom grabbed my arm. Allison, please. I'm sorry if I overstepped. I didn't think you'd react this way. We can work this out. I pulled my arm away. There is nothing to work out. You've been doing this her entire life, haven't you? Every single visit? Her silence was confirmation enough. I trusted you with the most precious person in my life, and this is what you did with that trust. Miss Reynolds, can you walk us through what happened when you discovered your mother was medicating your daughter? Detective Vargas asked, his notebook open on the table between us. 3 weeks had passed since the confrontation. We sat in a small conference room at the police station, finalizing my statement. After Emma's doctor found the sedative in her system, I started documenting everything. I saved the cookies, had them tested, and recorded my mother admitting to administering unprescribed medication to Emma. My voice remained steady, though the betrayal still felt raw. And your daughter, how is she doing? His tone softened. She's confused about why she can't see her grandmother, but she's been working with a child therapist. I twisted my hands in my lap. The therapist says children are resilient, but this is a breach of trust that will take time to heal. Later that afternoon, I met with my attorney, Melissa Chang. The prosecutor is moving forward with charges of child endangerment and illegal administration of controlled substances, Melissa explained as we sat in her office. With the evidence you've collected, it's a strong case. What kind of penalties could my mother face? I asked. Given her age and lack of prior record, she's unlikely to serve jail time, but she'll likely get probation, mandatory counseling, and of course, the restraining order will remain in effect. As we wrapped up, Melissa asked gently, How are you holding up, Allison? Some days are harder than others. My sister still thinks I'm overreacting, and my brother's caught in the middle. I sighed. Part of me keeps wondering if I'm doing the right thing. What your mother did wasn't just a boundary violation. It was illegal and dangerous, Melissa reminded me. You're protecting your daughter. That evening, as I prepared dinner, my phone rang, my mother's number. Against my better judgment, I answered. Hello? Allison, please. Her voice sounded smaller than I'd ever heard it. The preliminary hearing is tomorrow. You can still drop this. We're family. Family doesn't drug family, Mom. I've apologized. What more do you want? Do you really want to see your mother in court? What will people think? There it is again. Your concern for appearances, not for what you did to Emma. I'm suffering too, she protested. My bridge club, my friends, everyone's talking. 50 years building my reputation destroyed because you couldn't understand I was trying to help. You still don't get it, I replied, disappointment replacing anger. This was never about help. It was about control. Allison, please. Goodbye, Mom. We'll see you in court. After hanging up, I joined Emma and Diane at the dinner table. Was that Grandma? Emma asked, pushing food around her plate. Yes, sweetie. Is she still in trouble? I chose my words carefully. Grandma made some bad choices that put you at risk. And yes, there are consequences for those choices. Like when I get a timeout for breaking rules? Something like that, I said, managing a small smile. Diane squeezed my shoulder supportively. You're doing the right thing, Allie. Later, as I tucked Emma into bed, she asked, Will I ever see Grandma again? The question broke my heart. I don't know, sweetheart. Maybe someday when you're older. But my job is to keep you safe. I miss her cookies, Emma said softly. But I don't miss feeling weird after eating them. You knew something was wrong? She nodded. They made my head fuzzy, but Grandma said it was our secret, and good girls keep secrets. I hugged her tightly, tears stinging my eyes. Emma, listen to me. You never have to keep secrets that make you feel bad or weird, okay? Never. The next morning, my phone rang. It was my sister Jen. Ali, you need to reconsider this, she started without preamble. Mom called me crying all night. So now you're her messenger? I'm trying to keep this family from falling apart, Jen replied. She made a mistake. A mistake? I scoffed. She deliberately drugged my child multiple times over years, Jen. That's not a mistake. That's a pattern. You know how she is about appearances. Her reputation means everything to her. And that justifies endangering my daughter? Jen sighed. Of course not. But prison? A criminal record? She's 72, Allison. The prosecutor says she'll likely just get probation, I replied. And mandatory counseling, which, frankly, she needs. She's still our mother, Jen's voice softened. Remember when she sat by your hospital bed for 3 days when you had pneumonia, or helped you move into your first apartment? I remember, I said quietly. I also remember her criticizing my weight at every family dinner and telling me I'd never find a husband unless I fixed my appearance. She's complicated, Jen admitted. But is this really the end you want for your relationship? I didn't end it, I said firmly. She did, the first time she decided that drugging my daughter was acceptable. That night, I couldn't sleep. I stared at my ceiling, wondering how many other perfect families harbored similar secrets. How many other children were being shaped by hidden methods to fit someone else's idea of proper behavior. The next morning, as I prepared for court, I looked at myself in the mirror. My mother's words about reputation and appearances echoed in my mind. For a moment, I understood the powerful pull of that perfect family image, but I refused to let it continue for another generation. Some things matter more than appearances. Some betrayals can't and shouldn't be forgiven. Have you ever discovered someone close to you was hiding something dangerous? What would you have done in Allison's shoes?